is the other part of that amendment. And I will point out, it says, or prohibiting the free exercise of thereof, or Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Okay, there's that or again. Let's go a little bit further. All right, next slide. Congress shall make no law abridging the right of people to peacefully assemble. The right of the people peacefully to assemble. Okay, that was another thing that that the state of California was having a problem getting around. They couldn't get around the First Amendment. People have the right to exercise their religious freedom. People have the right to assemble in a peaceful manner, and the government was trying to twist all that and say, well, it's not peaceful because you're creating harm to other folks, and that just was not the case. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. This is a photo that I took when I was coming back through, and I stopped at a little cafe in Tennessee. It was called Cafe 93, and you can see here it's just your diner that you would normally see in rural America, where the bread and butter and the backbone of this country reside. And I had a chance to talk to various people along the way, and was talking to some of the people there about the churches and so forth. And I'll pull up my notes. It says that let's see, one guy was saying that he says their church closed for about 2 months. They had some online services, and then they got a feeling of what was actually going on, and they opened up and for a few, and then they gradually come back into full, which didn't take very long, and everybody was clamoring to get back to the church. I know that this cafe, I asked, I said, how long you guys been open? They said they've been open for about a year, and nobody was wearing a mask in there. No, none of that mask mandate stuff was going on. So anyway, it was a wonderful experience, and I can tell you that when I was asking these questions as I was traveling around, and I would stop in various little towns along the way, I was just curious, just wanted to know how they handled the situation with the church back then. Some people, it was like asking them to recount their worst nightmare. It was just a sickening feeling in their stomach that they didn't want to talk about. Other people had no problem discussing that, and I can tell you that the sentiment about what is going on around the country and what they're hearing on the news, and if you turn off the TV, you're probably going to be a lot better. But the sentiment about what I heard from people, all walks of life, whatever shade of skin you had, it didn't really matter. Male, female, it didn't really matter. They're sick and tired of what is going on. They're sick of this talk about mandates. They're sick of the mask. I saw a few places, and I told you I went to about 13 different states. Hardly ever did I see anybody wearing a mask. And if it was somebody wearing one, it was like 1 out of 50. Okay, and there were some restaurants that were people were wearing them. Others, not at all, which was comforting. We know that they don't work, so it's just one of those things that people were, they felt that something wasn't right, and they were right on target because something wasn't right. We had people that were trying to dictate a lot of things that just wasn't the case. So anyway, I'll move on to some other things here. And the one thing that I know the current goal of the U.S. government is this: greed and power. They're greedy for more money, and they want as much power as they can grab. And I think that's what's going on. We have this huge power grab going on, and people are sick of it. They can see it. No matter where I was and who I was talking to, it was the same old story, time after time. That they're like, I mean, the gas prices that I had up there, I was paying just under $3 a gallon in Texas, and by the time I got up to Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, up in that area, I was pushing $4 a gallon. And I was lucky. You use some of these apps on your phone, you can search around, but you can't drive 100 miles out of the way just to save on gas. So you just tried to get the gas the cheapest price that you could find, along the way. And it was a very enjoyable experience. Here's back a few segments ago, I was talking about how this current left wacko mindset is trying to change the definition, and it's a little subtle way, but they're trying to say, well, this is not what this is, and we're going to change the name, and we're going to change the definition, we're going to change everything. And here's a prime example of Mr. Joe here, and I circled this, and he was down in Fort Bragg, I believe it is. So what does he do? They put on there they're going to celebrate Friendsgiving, okay? Not Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving. Let me put this over here so you can see this, okay? It's like this godless group of people that have invaded the government, and this is where their brain is, and it's sad, and they're doing it, with no no thought whatsoever, and it's like, to heck with you, we're gonna do what we want, regardless of what you think, and it's just an affront, and it's offensive to millions and millions and millions, a majority, actually, probably. Let's see, what's the latest poll? At 38%, and I don't even know who the heck is the 38. I didn't meet him. In all that time traveling around, I didn't meet one single person that thought that he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it's like, people are sick of this crap. So I'll get off that soapbox and go on. What I wanted to touch on is some of the things that may come up around your dinner table during Thanksgiving. You're always going to have this political chat or whatever, and I wanted to bring this up too, because this is new. This verdict just came down on Friday, and of course this is going to be front and center. Rittenhouse was found not guilty, and the jury came in, and that's because he never was guilty. You've got the President of the United States calling him a white supremacist. I was listening to some radio show today, and they were talking about, Jen Psaki just doubling down and starting to blame everything on Trump, and avoided the question altogether. But the media had slandered his name so much I mean, it was one lie after another, and this was a 17-year-old kid now. Okay, what he has gone through. And then I found out, I didn't know this. He was in jail for 87 days. Uh, had some health issues that came up. Wasn't able to bathe or shower, or he had some health issues that arose because of this. It's just horrific. I know that in his interview he praised the people that were working uh, at the juvenile center, and I don't know if he stayed there, if he moved over or whatever, but anyway, I think he said juvenile. But the prosecutorial misconduct during this trial was just off the charts. You know, here's what he was charged with: first degree reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon; first degree reckless endangerment, safety, use of a dangerous weapon. Uh, let's see here. First degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon; attempted first degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon; first degree reckless endangering safety in the use of a dangerous weapon. Now, here's the other one: possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18. They had to drop this one. They lied about him taking across lines when he had family over there. The gun was already over there. He was out there the news wanted to say that he was out there hunting people down and wanted to kill them, which was a lie. They had a discussion. I think the family had said that they needed protection in their business because Kenosha was burning, because that's what the mayor wanted. Didn't do anything about it. The police are overwhelmed. I believe one report said that the police were welcoming him out there, and he was just trying. I think he tried to put out a dumpster fire that was nearby his relative's business. Just total nonsense of what was going on, and it's like they didn't care. So, hey, here's these other yahoos that. Here's the other thing. They tried to make this a racial issue. White shoots black guy. Okay, it was always white on black. Like it was just here you go. Those are the three. Okay. Guy on the left, Joseph Rosenbaum, he's killed. Looks white to me. Anthony Huber, he's killed. And this one, George Grokresik, I believe it was, he was shot, wasn't killed. So, all these three right here, they're all white guys. Okay, but you would think that the media would bother to check into this stuff instead of spreading this lie for a year until the trial came up, and now they're out there just backtracking and trying to clean up their act, which I don't think is going to work. So anyway, here's another thing that also came out. Let me see if I can pull this up here. No, I didn't have a slide for that. But there was a statement released on November the 19th. It was on a Twitter feed. It says, Michael Gravely, the district attorney of Kenosha, issued a statement hours after the verdict. Gravely asked the public to peacefully accept the verdict. We respect the jury's verdict based on the 3.5 days of careful deliberations. And a lot of things came out, and the truth came out, which was a good thing. And also in that there was some hidden video that the FBI produced that could have saved a whole lot of grief months ago. And that shows you the state of the FBI today. Says he goes on to say, Michael Gravely says, we respect the jury verdict based on the 3.5 days of careful deliberations. Certainly issues regarding the privilege, catch that word, privilege of self-defense remain highly contentious in our current times. I was reading on, I didn't pull up the statute, you can pull it up, but I don't think there's a stand your ground doctrine which basically says that the public, you don't have the right to defend yourself against imminent death. You know, you're supposed to run as fast as you can to get away from whatever it is. And if they shoot you in the back, then, yeah, so what? That's how your government thinks of you. So actually having the right to live is a privilege, according to this DA. And the Wisconsin law up there. You know, thank God I live in a state here. We have a stand your ground. And, you know, it didn't used to be that way, but that was changed. And, you know, there is no retreat. You know, we had a training thing years ago. You know, it was a guy that came in the room, and he was wielding a hatchet, or not a hatchet, but a long knife. Okay, I can't think of the name of it now, but anyway, he had this long knife, and he was charging in the room. And the instructor came in, and he says, "You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead." Because what he tried to establish is that the individual with the knife had already made his decision on what his intent was. Your job is to respond to that threat, and you think that you're in imminent danger of being harmed or killed, that you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision in a split second. Because the guy coming in the room, the guy breaking in your house with a gun or whatever, he's already made his decision. He has determined what it is that he's going to do. Okay? You have to make the determination whether you want to stop him or not. Okay? And that's the video that came out with the kid with the skateboard, and the one that pointed the gun at him. And, like President Trump had said, says, if Rittenhouse hadn't shot him, he'd been dead. The other guy had already made his decision on what it was he wanted to do. Once you put a gun to somebody's head and with your finger on the trigger, okay, that's pretty convincing of what their intent is. And it's, of course, I think the guy, one of the three that testified, the one that's still alive, actually was in helping the defense and so forth. But anyway, I'll move on from that, and I'll go into the Second Amendment, because that was what this trial was all about. Was the Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. You got two things going on here. Not one thing. You're not going to infringe upon the establishment of a regulated militia. And what's the reason for that? Because of the tyranny you're seeing today. Shall not be infringed the right of the people to keep and bear arms. What is the reason for that? For what you're seeing the tyranny today. Look at Australia. What'd they do? They gave up their guns, said, okay, well, we don't need them anymore. Yeah, well, that's just how things are. And look what they're doing. Look where they are situated today. And thank God, this is another thing to be thankful for. This one statement right here in two parts is the one thing that keeps the government in check. The government in Australia, these people don't have anything, they can't defend themselves. They have no way to fight back. There's nothing. I'll read it again. A well regulated militia shall not be infringed, being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The government cannot infringe upon your rights. There's a case going on in New York now that's attacking these restrictions in New York having to do with concealed carry. Personally, I think it should be constitutional carry across the nation. It's criminals are going to be criminals. And I'm gonna show you this, and we're going to step into another phase here, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I was had my phone, and I've got this app that pops up, and it's called a scanner. You can put it on your phone, or I don't know if you can probably do it on Android or iPhone or whatever it is that you have, and you can put this app on your phone, and it's called Scanner Radio. There's various little apps out there that will pop up and tell you if it'll actually take you right into the feed of the dispatch in that particular area. Now, it's not everywhere. Not all police departments or whatever subscribe to this or put this information out there, but this one popped up in Waukesha, at 6 o'clock, and I think they said that this all happened about 5:40, so maybe there's an hour difference in time. I don't know what it is, but this is showing like my Central Standard Time here, shooting. And I was reading through some of the reports where there was a report of somebody shooting outside of a car or some kind of a shooting going on. And a lot of times what a criminal will do is they will create some sort of diversion and pull police away from a particular area, and so that they can go do their dirty deeds somewhere else. And you saw that with the riots and so forth last year. And that's what they were. They weren't peaceful protests. People burning down buildings and killing people and so forth. You had a diversion going on, and the police were bottled up over here, and all this stuff. And that was the whole purpose and of all these riots that were happening around the country. Antifa would pile up these rocks, and I remember people were going around and said, "What are these pile of bricks doing here?" And it was, yeah, they were going to use them for the riot. That's what they were for. So Waukesha had a shooting, and then I guess it was about an hour later, they had what they call a massive casualty incident. And this guy in this red SUV, who has been identified now, is racing through the parade route. 5, I think today, a child, I believe, has been killed. And this is the guy that they arrested that they say that has done this. And the police have said that they recommended 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and additional charges. This is a black male. Okay, here's his picture. His name is Darnell Brooks, Darnell E. Brooks. Let's see, 82. It's 30 some odd years old, I believe. Anyway, you can do the math, but get his picture off of there. Oh, I'll put this one back up there. Yes. What does it say? Evil. That's exactly what it was. Now you've got some leadership in the BLM organization up in that area, I believe in Kenosha, that was talking about, well, maybe this is the start of a revolution, and they wanted to start this race war between blacks and whites, and this is a retaliation. I believe they were commenting that some kind of retaliatory thing upon, the Rittenhouse verdict. So, it's just crazy nonsense of the evil that's going on out there. I'll put this picture up. These are the victims that in that parade, that Christmas parade that they were having in Waukesha. And I don't know which of these ladies were, but they had a group called the Dancing Grannies. And, you've been to parades and you'll see people dancing down the street and, people riding around in little cars. You got band members, you got, all this stuff going on. And this guy just barrels down. I've seen the video. He's just barreling down the street and just actually running over. Okay? All right. Let's take a step back. Okay? Here's the mindset of the left about guns. Does this mean that we're going to outlaw red SUVs? It's the SUV that killed these people. That's the mindset of the left. It's not the guy that's driving the car, it's the SUV. That's the reason they're not even talking about this guy. It's not part of their narrative. It doesn't fit. He's not the right color. You start going down that road, and it's like, okay, you're going to outlaw hammers? You can go down the statistics of what people are killed for or killed with, and you'll find that there's a lot of other things higher up on the totem pole than a rifle. It's a complete nonsense. Well, we'll stop it there for this segment, and I hope you caught a few pointers there when we were talking about the First and Second Amendments, especially the first, which was still under assault in various ways. We'll get into part 3, and we'll get into some scripture and Bible stories and so forth about what you can talk about around the dinner table and the dessert trays and so forth as you go through your holidays. And there may be some things that come up, and I think I can hopefully point out some things that you can attack that with and talk about. So anyway, I'm glad you chimed in. If you like what you see here, hit that like button and subscribe and put your comments down below. I hope you have a blessed week, and let's pop into number 3. So anyway, if you haven't accepted the Lord Jesus Christ, I asked you to say a prayer, repent of your things that you've done and so forth, and ask him to come into your life, and he will do that. He will set up shop. The Holy Spirit will start working on your heart and get you in the right direction. It won't be a life of roses, but at least you will be walking in the right direction. And the more you read and the more you grow, you ask him to come in and be a part of your life, and you be a follower of Christ, and work to not obtain your salvation because it's a grace and it's given to you, but you will certainly turn your life around, and you won't be able to keep from working for the Lord. Anyway, glad you're here, and we'll see you next time. Alrighty.